Yes. Okay. All right. Hello, guys. Good evening. My name is Perla. I'm a double gold consultant, two-time I-10 card holder. And tonight we're going to talk about how to invite prospects using Facebook. Okay. Obviously, as we know, Facebook is only one of the tools that we have to attract people to us, right? And invite them and share this amazing opportunity with them. And so I think Facebook is actually a very, very good place to start if you have not started on a specific platform, just because you have so many different places to do it. You have your personal profile, you have groups, you have comments that you can post on people, you can reply to people's things, right? Just as this comes up, right? Does anyone work remotely? How do I get into a work from home job? So this is a perfect example. I can show you guys kind of how I would interact with that. And so we're going to show you how to, invite people to like your profile or to follow your page, how to post in groups, how to engage in comments. Um, I'm looking at my notes here so I make sure I have everything. How many groups to add in a day to make sure you're not put in Facebook jail. And in terms of what kind of groups to join, and then essentially how to invite. Okay. So the very, very first step I want to make sure that I show you guys tonight is when you go to your profile page, okay, not every single one, there's going to be two things. Okay. Very first thing you want to make sure you have on your Facebook is you want to make sure that your message is clear. Okay. What is the first impression that you want to give off to someone that comes to your page? That you're a travel agent, right? You don't want to have a picture here on your cover photo of like dogs and cats, right? In rainbows, okay? Unless maybe you're incorporating that with travel, sure. But, make that cover photo like eye-catching, okay? So that when someone sees that cover photo, they're going to see, okay, at a quick glance, what is it that this person does? Okay? And then when they scroll down, here's my little intro, right? Short little intro, two sentences, not anything super crazy. That's going to tell them at a glance that I'm a travel agent. Okay, so anytime if I am commenting on somebody's post, if I'm commenting on groups, if I'm posting in groups and someone is curious and is like, I kind of like what she has to say, and they click on my page, they're going to actually see, like, okay, yeah, she is a travel agent. And then when they click on this, they're going to see, oh, okay, that's her business. That's her travel business page, right? And they're going to see some credibility there. They'll see some posts, things like that. Okay. So that's going to be the very first step. All right. Make sure you are kind of presentable in your Facebook page, the first glance, okay? Make sure you have a nice clear picture of yourself. Maybe if it's a bonus, if you maybe have a picture of you traveling, or maybe your cover photo can be of you traveling and you can kind of customize it a little bit, okay? And then as you scroll down on my Facebook, you're going to see that my very first post here is going to be about my travel business, okay? Kind of giving a little bit of a background on when I became a travel agent 2.5 years ago, blah, 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 right? Now, this is something that is a little more, I want to say like advanced, okay? This is not anything that you have to do right now. This is something that I personally decided to do because I felt like I could really capture people and really kind of showcase my personality a little bit better if I did this. So I have a private group in terms of on how to become a travel agent. Okay. And then I also have a like an insider guide. Okay. I have two different guides. When they click on this link, they'll be able to be led over to two different guides, and it's going to give them literally all of the information. Okay. Um, Jacqueline, so in terms of that post, I pinned it. So I created this post on August 19th. So you can see that here. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go to my most recent post, right? I took a picture today because I got my hair done. So let's say I want this to be the first picture that I want on my profile, or like as a pinned post. You're going to click these three little dots, and you're going to select pin post. So it's going to automatically, so if I were to do that, it would automatically take away this one from August 19th. Okay. So I strongly recommend, kind of just having, it's almost kind of like a highlight, right? So as people are scrolling, people are curious. People want to know what you're about, right? Especially if you're active in groups and you're posting a lot and things like that, right? So if that's going to be the very first picture or first description that they see, what's going to happen? They're going to click and they're going to go to my group, or they're going to click and they're going to go to my guide. Okay. Now, of course, I think that's just something for advanced. That's just how I have something set up. But other agents may have something similar where they may have a pinned post, and they may have something typed up similar, and they don't have a guide, and that's okay, right? But they'll be able to see, the comments, the likes, things like that. Now, the other thing with my profile is, well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so that's step number one. So step number two is switch over to a um, professional mode or professional account on Facebook. Okay, so you can see how I have followers and then I have a professional dashboard here. So if you click on these three little dots, if you are not yet on a professional mode, you're going to click the three dots, and towards the bottom, it's going to give you an option to turn it on. Okay. Once you turn it on, it's now going to give you kind of like challenges. Like each week will give you challenges to increase your following by a certain amount, to post a certain amount of times per week, to reply to comments on your posts, things like that. So if I show you my professional dashboard, it's going to tell me my post engagement, new followers in the last 28 days, 285 new followers, weekly challenges. So if I click this, so it's almost like Facebook is like pushing you to continue to grow and to do better, right? So this is something that will help you, right? Because the more you complete these little like challenges that Facebook has, I've noticed that the more your own content will be pushed out, right? So Facebook is a platform that loves engagement. They love to see that you're posting and that you are engaging on other people's posts, okay? So they want on both sides. So the more that you engage, so for example, this just quick little selfie I took today, there's 50 comments, right? And that's because after every single person commented, I am replying back. So it's telling Facebook, oh, okay, this picture, Perla's picture is getting a lot of traction here. Let me continue showing it to people, right? I posted something like almost 2 weeks ago about a cheesecake I made, and it's still getting comments and likes, and it's because people are still commenting on it, right? So just an example, the more you post, the more you're engaging, the more your content is going to be pushed out, okay? So the other thing with your personal profile is, as you can see, I'm not really posting crazy things about travel, okay? I'm sharing my personal life a little bit. If you go to my story, you'll see some my events of the day that happened today. But as you see, I kind of do some motivational things. Um, I did let's play a game, head to my story to play, and in my story, I did some price comparisons using Evo Plus and Expedia. Okay. And then there was a post I did just this week. So this was a travel post, right? Just giving some must-see cities in the US to visit for Halloween. Okay, so here's a travel thing, right? So I'm not going overly crazy like as if I'm trying to sell somebody, right? So I'm still a real person, okay? And that is kind of the main theme with Facebook, right? Still show your personality, still be a real person. But you still also want to show that you're a travel agent, right? Now, obviously on here on my Facebook profile, you don't see that I'm posting, hey, come be a travel agent, come join my team, right? But what I do is if I go to, okay, so because this post is right here, I'm just going to show you. I wasn't going to do this until a little bit later, but I'll show you right now. Let me just, so I'll like this comment. And even though there's been 14 other comments, and most likely there's been other agents on our team that have posted, that's okay. Don't get discouraged just because you see that other people on our team in particular or other people on other host agencies are commenting on posts like this, okay? Now, the reason I see this post is because I'm part of this group. Now, and what happens is Facebook knows based on my search on Facebook and based on my activity on Facebook, I'm always posting or I'm always commenting on posts like this, right? So Facebook is going to show me, like the algorithm is going to show me more of what I like to do. So it knows that I like to post or comment and engage on comments from groups that are work from home, moms groups, things like that. So my newsfeed is filled with things like this. Okay. So I would comment, I have something saved here. Now, everyone is different. Okay. Don't take my, I'm just copying it from my phone. There we go. Don't take my script and be like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Everyone is different in terms of how they're going to reply to a post. Now, my reply is always going to say, hey, with their name, welcome, right? But they posted as an anonymous participant, so I'm not able to actually tag them. Okay. So I'm just going to say, hi, welcome with a smiley. Okay. Now they're looking to work from home. They need more flexibility, especially with all the things that their kids are going through right now. Okay. So this maybe sounds like a mom. Okay. Um, so usually I'll say, I'll want to include something that is relating to their comment, right? So they want more flexibility. So I can say, um, mom of two, so I want to relate to them, right? Okay. So my first sentence, it's always going to try to be some sort of relatability. Let me relate to this person. I'm a person too, right? And I don't want to sound and I don't want to be like as if I'm trying to sell this person, okay? Now, tomorrow during Halia's training, she's probably going to have a different script, right? Because we're two different people. So it's not that there's one of us is right, one of us is wrong. It's just that we have kind of adjusted and tweaked our message to people based on what has worked for us. Okay. And that's just something that you as an individual will have to decide what works for you. Okay. I have gone through so many different types of scripts and I personally have found that this one has worked better for me to relate to them first, ask them a question like, can you, now this I'll take out because I have a generic message. So I'll just say, can you think? I'll take that out. So I'll say, I'll relate to them first, then ask them a question. Can you think of something you love to do that you can turn into profit? And then I'll go into my example. So for example, I love to travel. So I became a travel agent. Okay. I absolutely love the travel lifestyle, traveling more for less, getting paid. I'm going to say getting paid to plan once in a lifetime vacations for others than myself and spending more time with my kids. Okay. Then here is where I tag my group. And then I will say this. All right. And that's how I send it. That's how will reply to them to the comment. Okay. Now, I'm not always writing this type of message. Okay. Sometimes, depending on what's posted, I hope I can maybe find one here on my feed. Depending on what's posted, um, I may respond a little differently, maybe something shorter, especially if maybe the comments are kind of like, hey, just looking for something to do like in a call center or maybe sales or something like that, then I will then tweak my comment to kind of be more relatable to that post. Does that make sense? Are there any questions with that? Just want to see if I can find another to give an example. Okay, cool. So I wanted to just show you that really quickly, just because it was the very first thing that came up on my feed. Now, what's going to happen is, who knows if that anonymous participant is going to join my group or even see my post, my comment, right? But the purpose of commenting and engaging on posts like that is because even if the original poster doesn't actually see your comment, other people will. Okay. And that's how I have noticed that people have been following me on Facebook and also requesting access to join my Facebook group. That's how I know that it's working, because of me being consistent every single day, posting and commenting on these groups. That has then people end up seeing my comment. Okay. So let's talk about groups. Okay. Let's talk about groups really quick, and then I'll kind of go through how to invite people. Once you have your professional mode turned on, now you have an ability to invite people to follow you, okay? People that like your posts and things like that. Jacqueline, so when I tag my group, I just do the @ sign and then I type the name of the group and it comes right up. Now, the only thing I will say is you just have to be careful with that. Not every um not every group that you comment in or post in is going to allow that. Okay. So think of it as like when they created that group for themselves to manage, right? And so they don't want somebody else coming in to try to poach their people over to like out of their group. Does that make sense? So I've kind of known and I've kind of seen like I kind of already know which groups allow me to comment and tag my group and which posts or which groups don't allow me to do that. Now, if a group doesn't allow me to tag my group, then I just don't tag my group. Um, yeah. Yeah, you would do it the same way, Jacqueline. You would then just do the @ sign and then type the name of the group and then go from there. Okay. So let's talk about different groups that you can join. All right. So um think about now, obviously that group was called work from home baddies. Now you could do like work from home. So you see my search here, right? My recent searches. So if I click work from home, now it's going to give me a mix of things. It can give me now, well, in this one in particular, it's going to give me groups. Okay. So if you think that there's, oh my gosh, I'm running out of groups to join, all these things. If you look at, I wonder, hold on. Okay, I'm almost in 1,000 groups. I probably could definitely be in more. All right. But if you think that, oh my gosh, there's not enough groups on Facebook, I'm running out of things to join. Literally, I selected work from home and look at all these groups that I'm not yet a part of. Okay. So you want to look at groups. Now, obviously for tonight, I'm just going to show you work from home. I'll also tell you, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Jacqueline. In over 1,000 groups. Perfect. So you can join groups that are work from home. You can join groups that are mom groups. I'm in a lot of different mom groups, like stay-at-home moms, moms like in my current area or city or even state. I'm also in groups of things that I like to do, right? So I'm also a nurse. So I'm also in healthcare groups. So you would think that in a healthcare group, they're not talking about working from home, right? They're talking about, oh, I just got off of a 12-hour shift as a nurse. I hate it, right? But I've actually been surprised most recently. There's been a lot of posts in those healthcare groups saying, like, I've been a nurse for this long. I'm looking for some extra income. What is everybody else doing to bring in some extra income? Boom, that's my opportunity right there, right? To say like, hey, I'm a nurse too. And actually, I've been a travel agent now for almost 3 years. This is my group. Come check it out, right? And you would be really surprised. Okay. I'm also in a lot of groups, different destinations that I like to go to. So Caribbean, cruises, Disney. And so although those types of groups, travel related groups, nobody is really asking there, hey, I'm looking for a work from home job, right? But you as a travel agent, if you see a post that's saying, hey, what's looking for some recommendations for the best all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean for my family of five. What are the best tips or places to go? Okay. You as a travel agent can go and comment and make some recommendations, right? And the more consistent you're doing that, especially if you have your profile set up appropriately, where if someone clicks on your profile, they're going to now see that you're a travel agent. They may start inquiring, right? It doesn't hurt for you to friend request these people. Okay. You can friend request them. And what I've even done sometimes too, and what happens to me a lot is I'll get a lot of friend requests or I'll friend request them. And then once they approve the message or approve the request, I'll send them a message. I'll say, hey, Sally, thanks so much for connecting with me. How are you today? Whatever, right? Just to build that connection. I'm just a person, right? I'm not trying to sell them, okay? But that is going to build the connection. And then what happens is by you posting and you're posting your travel related content, or they end up in your group and you're sharing about the opportunity, about, the yacht party or the cruise that's coming up in July or end of June, right? It's going to start piquing people's interests. Okay. And that is kind of a form of attraction marketing. Okay. When you are just going about your normal posting and you're sharing about your life and your opportunity, that is going to then intrigue them. Okay. Because they're like, wow, how is she able to be a nurse and also be a travel agent and travel, right? And she has kids, right? So it piques the interest. Okay. So you direct people to your personal page first. Kathy, personally, I do, yes. Um, I do everything from my personal page. Now, when um, in regards to like travel, commenting, joining groups, things like that, everything is from my personal page. It gets a little difficult if you try to do things as your business page, if you have one, because there's a lot of groups that don't allow business pages to join their group. They require like a profile, a person. So I have a business page, but I just have it more so there for like that credibility factor. And I do everything from my personal page. All right, so look at these different types of groups, okay? So work from home opportunities, online income, and advice. So typically I like to join groups that have like two plus 2,000 plus members and up, right? If they have 10 like this one, that's perfect. And I also like to see the activity in the group, okay? So take a look that this says 10 posts a day, okay? That tells me, okay, this is probably a very active group, okay? Um, this is a group that's not just the last post in 2002 or 2022, right? So I will then go ahead and join this group. You want to be mindful when you're joining groups, you want to limit to at least maybe 10, 15 max a day. Okay. You don't want to go past that. Okay. Um, all right. So let me answer these questions. I'm just going to do networking. All right. Now, obviously, I always like to look at the rules of the groups. A lot of the rules, they may say no self-promotion. So see how it says no promotions. Self-promotion means you kind of going on and talking about yourself. And you kind of going on and saying like, hey, I have this amazing opportunity, whatever, like that's self-promotion. Okay. So there's a way around it. You can totally go around it in rules like that. Okay. So work from home, this is almost 7,000 members. That has 10 posts per day. I like to click on the group and kind of just scroll through. Now, if I see posts like this, like in a different language, and it just kind of looks like spammy, um, I'm just like, nah, I might pass. Okay. But that's just me. All right. So this one, work from home, this has over 10,000 members, female only. All right, so, oh, here it is. So let's join this one. Yes, Jacqueline. Yeah, they don't let you do your business page. There are some groups that will allow you to join as a business page, um, but not all of them. So it's you have more opportunity to just join as your profile. All right, work from home Kentucky. Okay, so a lot of different states you can do. You can join from different states. There are some, just be careful that they may ask you for like a not for your address, but like verifying like which city or county do you live in this particular state. Okay. Oh, I didn't even join that group. Hold on, sorry. Every time I go back, it takes me back up to the top. Okay. So I joined Work from Home Kentucky. Okay. So here's another one, work from home business opportunities. This is another one too. So it could either be remote work from home, business opportunities. It can be moms groups. It can be certain your certain city or county, town or region that you join different groups in. Okay. Now, if I do this is all these different work from home jobs, right? And you see all these ones that I'm not part of, right? And obviously this one, this would be a great one too. UK work from home. See if any questions come up. There we go. Okay. So typically a lot of these that are public, your admission into the group is pretty quick. Unless you may get a pop-up with some questions and then you'll have to get approved in order to actually post and things like that. So what we could do is we could, let's see if maybe one of these will let me post in here. So what's really nice is once you go into a group, what's really nice is they will now give you groups that are related. So since this group is based in the United Kingdom, it's going to give you groups that are also in the United Kingdom or maybe originating from the United Kingdom. Okay. So work from home Scotland. We can join that one, see if there's any questions that come up. Yeah, Jacqueline, if you still have pending approval from 3 weeks ago, personally, I would just scratch that group off your list. That might just be a group that's not as active in sending approvals or approving members. I like to be in groups that are going to be active. My posts go through right away. If maybe it's pending, then it gets approved in a few hours. If it's still pending for more than a day, I personally just leave the group. I don't like to be in groups that are not letting my posts go through. Okay. That's just something I've always done. Now I know every agent is different. So see, this one is asking me if I'm a UK resident. I'm just gonna hit no. Um, if you're not a UK resident, please do not request to join. Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see. Okay. So what are we posting in these groups? What's something that you could potentially post? Someone tell me. Either unmute or go ahead and put it in the chat. What is something that now that you're part of a group, what would you post?
I have been posting either a Christmas reel or a Christmas post to get engagement. Maybe, asking what their favorite Christmas memories are, or, I just posted the Halloween, spooky Halloween facts, and one or two to get things that get engagement, along with some travel stuff and some vacation, some cruises to book, but just kind of mixing it up.
Right. Now you would you post that in a work from home group?
On the Christmas, mm, I might, but highly doubtful. I mean, but yeah, I want to show them I'm a real person, like you say. So, around the holidays, in fact, I may have done that. I might post something Christmassy, something short to show them, like you said, like you guys suggest, to show that I'm a real person and I'm not just trying to sell them something or, not that anyway, something like that.
Yes, yeah. So I think those are good things to post in like travel groups, like moms groups, things like that. Like those are great things. Now, when it comes to the work from home groups, you could do two things. Just like Kathy and Rebecca said, you could maybe do like a little quick intro. Hey, thanks for approving me into the group. Excited to connect with everybody, whatever, right? You could do a quick intro. Or you could then just go ahead and make a post, and I'm going to show you. Let's just say that I already did an intro. Let's say I've been a member of this group for some time, okay? Because I want to just show you on how to create a post in a work from home uh, group, okay? So you could do like a fun little background. You could either do like, for example, if you guys don't know, um, on the Travel Knowledge website, under team building and then beginner, if you scroll down, there's some ideas, okay? Some ideas on how to make a post in like work from home groups. These are also some different groups you can join, right? So kind of going on to, in addition to the things that I mentioned to you, okay? And down here are going to be different pictures that you can take and post, okay? So let's say I'm going to take this one. You can look at all these here, right? Or you could literally just go and create your own using Canva, okay? But for the sake of tonight, yeah, replace, I'm going to just make that post, make this photo post. Okay. Now, because this is a group that's based in the United Kingdom, I'm not going to put the call to action as text, like text me the word travel or hotel or whatever to my phone number because they won't be able to. So instead, I may say um, comment travel for more information. So this post in particular um, is going to have all the information that they need, right? Um, so I don't necessarily need to put anything on the top. Now, obviously, if maybe you have like a picture of yourself traveling or something like that, you may want to add a little bit of a bigger script, like what's listed here. Okay. Or something a little bit like that. Now, one thing I will say is you don't want to go too long, right? Because think about those really long Facebook posts or captions. Um, if you're anything like me, if I'm on Facebook or social media, I scroll. Obviously, we all scroll, right? But typically, we scroll pretty fast. And if we can't read everything on one sentence, what do we do sometimes? we scroll right past it. Okay. So make sure that whatever caption you're putting is going to be something like this. This is limited to like four or how many sentences? Like three, maybe four sentences. You can add a cool effect or picture, right? And then you always want to include the call to action. The call to action on these pictures are going to be, let me make it bigger for you guys. Text travel to and then the number. Okay. Now, this you could do in one of the groups for like USA based, right? But with it being a group in the United Kingdom, it may not, you may not want to do that because you're not going to get the text message with the international situation. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. These pictures or these little scripts are perfect. You know why? Because it's quick. It gives them the information that they need to know. And they want to know more information, they're going to text you. Okay. But also don't be surprised if people just comment on the post. Okay. They may comment on the post, which works out in your favor too, because if they comment on the post, it's just going to boost the engagement on the post and Facebook is going to, I'm trying to get an airplane. Hold on. That's not what I want. Um, there we go. Okay. So that one was just a basic one. Okay. So this one is pending. Um, it's, I guess we'll see if it goes through. Now, let me go to one of the groups that I'm a part of that I know lets me post. Let me see if I can find it. As I'm looking for the group, does anybody have any questions? Okay. Let's see if this group will let me post. All right. So I'm going to do, let's see. We'll just do this one. This one is like bright and yellow. All right, so let's take one of these and let's do. Now, one thing I will say, I don't know how many characters um, Facebook allows you to add in these little graphic pictures, but after a while, if you go past those characters, the graphic picture goes away. Um, so just be mindful of that. Looking for people to book. Looking for people. I'm just copying this one here with the basketball. Oh, see? All right, let's see. Hold on. It won't let me. Okay, hold on. Text. Let me see if I can change it. Text Disney. All right, I had to shorten it for this one in particular. So looking for people to book travel from home, we train you great discounted travel. Let me see if I can maybe put something else. I'll just leave like that. Text Disney and then the phone number. Okay. And hit post and see if it goes through or if not, maybe it's pending. Okay. Went through. All right, awesome. So what I would recommend, so that way you're not put into Facebook jail in terms of, like I mentioned, with groups joining 10, maybe 15 max. Jacqueline says she does 13 a day. When you're posting into groups, split it up throughout the day. Okay. So in the morning, right when you wake up, you can either do this from your phone. It's super easy. Um, you can post on 5 groups in the morning, 5 groups in the afternoon, 5 groups in the evening. Or if it's easier, depending on your schedule, do maybe 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening, however you want to split it up. Okay. The more consistent you are on posting, whether if you're posting engagement type of posts, like Jacqueline was saying, or you're posting posts like this in a group, the more Facebook is going to see, like, okay, she's posting, she's engaging, right? They're going to show your posts more, okay? And your posts are going to get pushed out, okay? Yes, Janet, I was going to say that. If you use your phone, you have more space. But because I was doing it on here, I wanted to just keep it here. Um, Now that is a great question, Kathy. So Kathy asked, because you can only post a certain amount of groups per day, is there a way to easily keep track of which groups you've posted in? Yes, so you could do a spreadsheet. So I'm going to be honest with you, I am not an organized person, okay? You'd be very surprised. I'm not an organized person at all. And I actually have a spreadsheet of all the groups that I'm a part of. And I keep up with it sometimes, not all the time. I'm not consistent with it, I'll be honest, because I just, whatever, that's my downfall. Okay. That's something I have to do better. But on the spreadsheet, you can, on my spreadsheet, I had the name of the group that I was a part of. If there were any rules, if it was a public or private group, and then what day of the week I posted, whether if it was in the morning or in the evening. So I would put just kind of like a little X. And that's how I would keep track. So then I knew, okay, if it was now evening time, I would pull up my spreadsheet and I would already knew, okay, who or which groups did I already post in this morning so that I don't go back. Or maybe if it was already Friday, I'm going to look at the week and say, okay, well, I already posted in this group on Monday, or let's say, or I already posted in this group yesterday, Thursday, so I'm not going to post on this group again. Okay. That kind of thing. And yes, Ariana, you can also see what groups you've posted in on the manage posts. Exactly. But that is in each group. So you'd have to actually go into the group to see when it was that you last posted. Now, if you're a part of a bunch of different groups, it might be a little hard to it might be a little hard to keep track of that if you're part of a lot of groups. Can you guys hear me okay? Or am I freezing? Yes. Okay. Cool. Um, so does that make sense? So Ariana's right, you can, but if you're managing a lot of groups, if you have a lot of groups that you're a part of, it might be hard to keep track of which ones you've already posted in without that spreadsheet. So spreadsheet is definitely a good option, or you could write them down in a notebook if you're someone that likes to write things down. That's a really good thing too. All right, so let me go and look at this to see what I should hit on next. Okay, so what I'm going to show you next is when you get the text, what will be this? Oh, yes. Thanks, Mary. So if I get a text right now that says Disney, okay, this is what I follow. And I'm going to show you exactly on the Travel Knowledge website. Okay. I believe it's down here. Is it down here? Wait. Yeah, it's down here. Okay. So see this screenshot here? Let me zoom. Okay. So let's say I get a text tonight or tomorrow or whenever that says Disney. Okay. This is literally going to be the script. Now, if you are someone that is hand scheduling, that's what you're going to put. Hand scheduling means that you are writing down and just keeping track of everybody that you're inviting to the next meeting or the next presentation. Okay. Now, if you use Calendly, what you would want to do is then just insert your Calendly link for them to schedule. Okay, so my script that I have is very similar to this. The only difference is that it has my Calendly link. Okay, so what I did when I was hand scheduling, because I did not get Calendly until I believe I was silver. I didn't get Calendly, so I was hand scheduling all the way up until then. I would present them with the very first meeting time that was available, that was next for the day. Okay. So let's say we had a meet, well, obviously today's too late, but let's say tomorrow, Friday, our next meeting, I would say we're currently scheduling for an online meeting today at 12 p.m. Pacific. Okay, because that's the meeting time for tomorrow, where we go over blah blah blah. Does that work for you? If they say no, if that doesn't work for them, then I would then present them with the next meeting time after that. Okay. So you always want to present them with the next available. Okay. So not a week from now, not 2 weeks from now, right? Because if you're allowing them to schedule that far in advance, the higher chances of them canceling and not actually showing up. Okay. Aaron, hand scheduling just means, just as this says, right? Hand scheduling means, okay, let's say this person's name is Sally. So Sally texts me and she says that, yes, that 9 p.m. Eastern meeting works great. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little notepad or whatever it is that I'm using to keep track of each meeting time, how many people I have scheduled for each meeting and their names. So because they're texting you just a keyword, you're not getting their name or anything like that. So you first want to get them scheduled. So Sally says, yes, that sounds great. So now the next step will say, okay, perfect. Let me put you down. What's your name? This is my name. And are you familiar with Zoom? Perfect. Jessica or Sally is the name. Yes, perfect. Okay, I have you down. I will follow up in a couple of hours to give you the Zoom meeting link and the code. That is essentially what hand scheduling is. You're manually scheduling them. So you're keeping track of the people that you are inviting or that are scheduled for the next presentation. So now let's say that it's 8:30 or 8:15 Eastern, right? Because the meeting's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. You're going to text Sally and you're going to say, hey, Sally, it's Perla. Here's the meeting link starting in 30, 45 minutes, whatever time it is that you're sending it to her. I will see you there or something like that, right? Then when the meeting time starts, you're going to then give them, or when the meeting time starts, you're then going to say, hey, you'll log in, depending on whichever meeting you invited them to. You may not be able to actually check the participants list to see if Sally is there. So then you will text Sally, hey, Sally, we're in the meeting. Where are you? Okay, that's the process. Now you will find that now this is the team building start me link. Okay. This link, this platform is going to give you all of the tools and the steps to get started with team building, inviting prospects, replying to them, using different scripts for Facebook. So here's Facebook, right? How we kind of went over a lot of things tonight on Facebook. Here's those pointers I gave out to you in terms of joining different groups. Okay. So here's that document, how to invite people when they message you. Okay. So like I mentioned, you're going to want to make them a friend. Okay. So friend requests, don't be afraid of it. Send them a message, engage with them, show them that you're a real person. Okay. Now, this is, again, another example of inviting them. Okay. So now you have them scheduled. Then here's that follow-up message, okay, that I mentioned 30 minutes prior to the meeting. Here's the information. Then you're going to go, here it is, number 7, attend the webinar with them, okay? This is where you'll be able to have an understanding of the meeting, exactly see what time the meeting is going to be closing or finishing up, because every presenter is different. Some presenters are faster than others. And then you'll be able to follow up with them accordingly. Okay, so that's essentially what hand scheduling is. Now, using Calendly, it's all automated for you. You set up your account, you set up the calendar, all of the follow-ups. It definitely is a time saver. It really helps. However, it's an investment. So that's why I personally did not get Calendly until I was silver, because I wanted that money coming in before I started to actually put money out on things. But everyone's different, okay? Okay. So now with it being 10 p.m., I can go ahead, I did some posts earlier this morning. I can do some posts again tonight, okay? Because Facebook is not going to flag me, okay? You just have to be careful and you have to spread it out and not go crazy in posting. Don't go crazy in posting. Don't go crazy in commenting. Don't go crazy in joining groups, and don't go crazy in friend requesting, okay? Limit it, all right? It's better for you to kind of go slow and steady, just like this mentions about joining 5, break it up, 5 in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, things like that. Okay, so that way you're not being flagged by Facebook. And the big thing with Facebook is, like I mentioned a few times now, engage. All right. Anytime you see, so I post in this group, right? But I've already commented on a lot of posts in this group. So it's not going to show to the admins of this group that um, I'm a new profile in their group. Does that make sense? I've posted and I've engaged with a lot of people commenting in this group. So now by me posting, it's not going to get flagged. Okay. How to get to the TK information. What do you mean, Kathy? Do you mean the website?
Yes, I do.
To register for the website.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
what you mean?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just learned about this like yesterday, and I just want to be able to get all this information. I can't remember what you said on how to get there.
Oh, okay. It seems like Tasha is going to send you something.
Oh, thanks, Tasha.
Okay. Okay, cool. I just didn't want to send you the wrong information. Okay, so with Facebook, engaging, right? Engaging in different people's posts, engaging in groups, that's going to be huge. The more you do that, the more Facebook is going to push out your content. Okay. Especially if you're posting just, oh my gosh, I just booked my trip for whatever or for Cancun and I saved $3,000 or something, right? People are going to probably be curious and they're going to want to know how you did that. Okay. And so it's something that takes consistency on a daily basis. You can't do this tomorrow and expect your phone to be flooded with text messages, right? Yes, you're going to get messages. I'm sure you will, but it's something that takes time, right? Especially if you're new to Facebook, especially if you're someone that maybe has Facebook but doesn't use it as often. You have to build up your algorithm on your Facebook. Facebook doesn't really know what you like yet. And so in order to do that, you have to train it. Okay. So something I wanted to show you here too is um how my search is pretty much work from home. Okay. I will search work from home. And what happens is I'm going to get groups, but you can also go to posts. Okay. Now, these can be posts that maybe you've already seen before, or maybe not yet. Okay. And so, what I like to do is I'll go to posts and I will go to recent posts. Okay. So these posts, these two posts here, I already commented on because I know because I reacted to it. Okay. Now if I scroll down, this is someone that's like posted that they're hiring. Okay. Um, mm, all right, this is a homeschooling post. So it seems like I've commented on all of these already today. Okay. Let me see. Oh, look, see, there's Halia's post. Perfect. Great job, Halia. Great example. So just yesterday, she posted this work from home side hustle. And look at her caption. Okay, it gives you all the information that's needed. It's not like flooded with information. It's not paragraphs and paragraphs long, right? But she posted a very engaging type of uh picture that's going to capture your attention with the colors and a little bit of information here. So all the information is listed here and also listed in the caption, okay? And if we go to comments, we can see if so someone asked how, please message me. Okay, she also tagged her group. Okay, so you see how sometimes you're gonna get comments that might be a little spammy comments. I just ignore those. I don't engage in them at all. I typically just see it as if they comment on my post, it's gonna end up just boosting my post because Facebook just sees it as that engagement. Okay. Um, Let me look to make sure I didn't miss anything for what I wanted to cover. I know that Halia is going to go over some more things again tomorrow. Okay. Any questions? What questions can I answer for you guys? Anything that you're unsure of with Facebook? Um, any questions in what kind of groups to join? Any questions in what you should post?
I have one. I always do.
That's okay.
I was wondering, is there any time and point, depending on your algorithm or whatever you pronounce it, that Facebook will let you join more than those 15? Is that they just kind of is that what they kind of limit you to? There's just so many to join and so much engagement that I would love to do. I wish they would let us do more than that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if there's a certain point where you can then add more. But I mean, there's so many ways that you can engage on Facebook, especially if you um go through different travel groups or non-travel groups, whether if it's work from home, classifieds, remote jobs, side hustles, business opportunities, and you can just scroll through and you'll be surprised. You'll see people commenting or posting, hey, I'm looking for a side hustle. I've seen so many recently that are saying like looking for extra money now for the holidays. Um, I need Christmas money for Christmas gifts or something like that. Like that's what the post is. And so by just commenting on that, that gives you that engagement. Then you can friend request that person after you engage with them and have that connection with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions? Was this helpful? Um, yes, of course. How to make the page professional. So you're going to go to your profile page, click on your profile, and you're going to select the three little dots here where my mouse is hovering. You're going to select that and you're going to scroll down to where it says turn professional mode on. Okay. And then just from you doing that is going to switch it over to professional mode. And then you'll be able to now have followers. You can then invite people to follow you. So one thing, and I know we kind of went over the hour, but I wanted to show you in terms of how to invite, and maybe Halia can touch on this a little bit more tomorrow. But if I go into a group and I want to see if I can find, um, there was a group that I was in or that I'm in. This is what I mean by inviting people to follow you. So I'm part of this group, 90s Nostalgia. Okay. So just on this post, I had 87 likes. So when you click on this, now all of these people, and it's hard to show on the computer because I don't know why it's different from the computer versus the phone. But if you're on your phone and you select that, you'll be able to now invite. So you see how all these people say add friend? I can either friend request these people, but on my phone it will say invite. Okay, let me see if I can find. That wasn't the group I wanted to.
Miss Perla, I'm
Mhm.
glad you touched on that because I did not realize all this time that I couldn't invite from within the group within likes. I've been just inviting from my own personal group that I created, and I did not know, but I heard you can do up to 50 invites a day. Um,
Yes.
and I did not know. So when you're in any of these groups, you can go in and click where they got them hearts where they liked you, and then it pop up the names, and you can invite. Right? I did not honestly. That explains a lot. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I would recommend honestly to do it from your phone because from the phone you can see uh invite. So I'm gonna find you this
I
post.
do it from my phone. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this one had 1,300. I invited all those 1,300. Um, there's one that let me go down. It's here somewhere. It's coming. This one had over 100,000.
I'm going back through all my groups this next month and not hit.
Yeah, no, it's good because to be honest, not everybody's going to accept that invitation to follow, but a lot of them will, right? So that's another opportunity, especially when you post in different groups, even if you only get a handful of people that like your post, and even though they don't text you or they don't comment on your post, you can still invite them to follow you. So that's just one other thing I wanted to touch on. So
It's so helpful. You just don't know. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. So how does everybody feel now with well, actually, let me stop recording.